Hi there. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm Angela Wolf, and today we have a lot of fun things to talk about, but it's mostly Q&A. So welcome, everyone. What have you been up to this week? Let's see. We had Father's Day. I hope you had a good weekend for that. I'm up to a few things, maybe a few more than I should, but that's okay. Much of it I can't tell you quite yet, but I will. That's about it. So welcome, everyone. Pop in, say hi, say where you're from. If you've been here before, you know the routine. And why do I ask where you're from? Because people that might be in the town or your neighbor is on here, and they're like, wait a minute, I have a sewing friend. Those of you that are new, welcome. We have a lot of fun on this show. A lot of sewing friends from all over the world. So today, this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go through the group, and I have a few fun photos that you guys shared, a cute cartoon, and I went shopping. I'm going to see the babies, the twins, the girls, and so I went to find some outfits. Oh my goodness, I need to start sewing baby clothes. I looked at the price tags and I was like, this is like, I'm not trying to be cheap, guys, but this is like a half of a 1/8 of a piece of fabric, and it's like 25 bucks. Are you kidding me? I was trying to find something with no embroidery so I could add their name. I have a little cute thing to show you too, but seriously, and few little cam snaps at the bottom and we're good. So I think I better get my tush sewing some baby clothes. That is, and little girl clothes. Oh my gosh. I went through there. There's so many cute ideas, but wowzer, I think you'd have to pick up sewing, especially if you had a big family. My goodness gracious, their clothes are more expensive than mine. So, all right, pop in. Say hi. I see everybody rolling in. So a couple of fun things. Next week, we will be on location. You'll be able to see the twins. And next week, if our schedules allow, our good friend, Reen Wilcoxon, is going to come on and talk about her new embroidery book. So that's going to be very exciting for next week. So be sure to pay attention next week. I will leave a note if for some reason, we're at the pool or something and I can't go live. I would not do that, right? I'd go live from the pool. But it's going to be a whole different location, so hopefully it all works out. So I'm trying to surprise my sister with some cute items. And check out these little pants. So you have to give me the thumbs up on this. These are the cutest things ever, these little ruffles. Now, I've seen these all over, but my intention was to buy these without the ruffles so I could put ruffles on the back, like this, all of these little guys. So I was talking about this with a friend, and they're like, well, how do you do those ruffles? So since last week, so many of you comment about the dress behind me. Where is she? Over there? And the belt. I thought I would tell you how I did the belt again with a little more detail. And we're going to talk about these little ruffles, because if you have a little one at home, this is the easiest thing I've ever seen. I actually did this to a silk top one time, and it turned out awesome. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I have a few questions that you asked this week. Did you enter the contest? Because the contest goes through next week. Don't forget. The link is in the group, and I will make sure I put it here as well. It's also on angelawolf.com. You can win a pattern review, 1-year membership, which is awesome, or you can win one of my classes on there, which then you could take these pants and dye them. These are so cute. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see these girls. So, all right, you guys gave me some great ideas last week. We were talking about, I can see your comments rolling in. Oh, good, the belt. Yes, Arnell, we're going to talk about the belt. A couple things. I've been cutting and sewing a lot. I've been getting myself into trouble, not literally, but I can't tell you quite yet. But you're going to be very excited about this, and you're going to think I'm crazy. But either way, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I just might be adding something exciting to the business. So one of the big questions last week, I'm going to just move my keyboard and my phone. Lace. We were talking about lace. And we didn't talk about this for a few weeks, but somebody asked this, and I thought it was very intriguing. Oh, hey, Ruby, you're sewing camp. Okay, hold on. I got to take 1 second to say hi. I love it when kids sew, and I don't know if it's a kids sewing camp. They are all sewing. Hi there. Hi, kids. I hope you're having a good time. There's nothing better than getting kids jumped into sewing. So, Ruby, while I'm taking a spin right here, what are your kids sewing? Because we'd love to know. Thank you for saying hi, and thanks, kids, for watching. So that means I better give you something really fun today, right? Okay, Maria wants to know the contest. Can you enter every day? My contest, you can enter every day. Now, what I was getting to, did you enter the Brothers Sweepstakes? The sweepstakes, the drawings, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow starts the drawings for the big prize that you get to come and hang out with me in Orlando. Get to see all the new products coming out at a private event at Brother, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. But they're doing giveaways to lead up to the big one. Go to Brother Sew's Facebook page. Just scroll down a little bit. I don't know which posting it's in, but I'm sure it's right there. You enter, and you're in. Now, you can only enter theirs once. Mine, you can enter every day, and we're going to let Sierra or Kira draw the winner. So we'll just have to see if their hands are big enough to reach in to hit the mouse to pick a winner. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so let's get to this lace. I want to just mention something. Quite a few of you asked me, okay, while you're sewing, I've been showing so much upcycling and recycling. It's fun. It's easy. It's fast. I have one that I'm going to work on tomorrow, which I will make sure I take photos for a blog post. I found this jean skirt. It is so cute. It is, and I purchased it 2 sizes too small. Yeah. Now, didn't I just finish complaining that I can't get the winter LBs off? Okay, I got the winter LBs off, and I still purchased a skirt 2 sizes too small. Well, it was $2. Okay, so how could you just like not resist? It was adorable. But have you seen that new trend where they have that stripe going down the side? Now, that's not where I'm going with the lace, but it could be lace, maybe with another piece of denim underneath. But have you seen the stretch elastic or like the body glove bathing suits? They're made out of that little thicker, oh goodness gracious, I would forget that word. Help me out, girls and guys. What is the fabric that body glove bathing suits are made out of? It's a little bit thicker. Okay, I got to watch your comments rolling in because I know you guys are so great that I know you are going to say it before me because that's why we make such a good team. We could have our own Wheel of Fortune show. Okay, I'm going to watch until I see. Ruby says that they are quilting pillows. So while you're telling me the name of this fabric, I'm going to go through some of your comments. Quilting pillows. That sounds like fun. What a great project. And don't forget to embroider your name on it. Or use the scan and cut. Yeah, that's always a fun one. Patricia says she's getting herself into trouble doing bags. She thinks she made a mistake because one edge of the zipper is so thick it won't push through. Patricia, I'm laughing with you, not at you, okay? Okay, so one of these days, and I told when we have to do this coming up, like, what is your biggest spoof when you're sewing? Spoof probably isn't the appropriate word there either, but you know, like one of those things where you're like, oh, gosh, why did that happen? But it turned into like an amazing new item that was great. This happens to me all the time. We'll have to come up with a unique word, like something specific for all of us, our sewing group. It'll be like a code word. I will come up with it before next week because I have a surprise for you next week too on these words. So you'll just have to keep that rolling in your head. Enough of that. I only like to share what's going on immediately. Arnell says she loves to see the kids learning how to sew. I agree. And wait until you see the little girls next week. I'll start teaching them how to sew immediately. So some of you gave me some ideas on the YouTube group. The YouTube watches the show on Saturday. So hi if you're watching me on Saturday. And say hi to all of your sewing friends. They had an idea for the little girls to do a little headband, which made me think of that belt, and also a little tutu skirt. Now, they're preemies still, so I have some time. I don't think I'll have that done before next week, but I will work on that, I think, for July 4th. I think that would be so cute. So it'll be going in the mail, and I'll make her send us a photo. All right, Jackie says her youngest made a pillow at their local library. Well, Jackie, by the way, wish we had a camp. Yes, I'll bet you do. And Jackie, speaking of Jackie, I'm going to bring Jackie up here for a second. I was looking at your post, and Jackie said her first pair of linen shorts that she's sewn, she was inspired by the embroidery that I keep showing, and she tried it on her own shorts. Those are adorable. Jackie, great job. So while we're in the group, I'll just show you a few more. Gail refashioned the neckline. So this is the Angela Wolf Patterns group. All right, it's a private group. You can join if you'd like. Just all you have to do is answer one question. Why you on in the group, and we'll let you in. So I love this neckline, Gail. I think that's so cute. Stripes are so on trend right now. I have not warmed up to them for myself. I don't know why. Well, when I show you my skirt, you're going to say, well, that's kind of stripes. I just always end up grabbing the solid colors or hand dyeing the fabric. So I need to get outside the box. Now, I do have a maxi skirt that I'm working on that is going to be on YouTube. Are you doing the Kate Sew Along? The Kate Skirt Sew Along is on YouTube. Part 2 launched last Thursday from the It's So Easy series. And tomorrow on YouTube is going to be part 3. What is that one? Oh, Bias. Yeah, that's going to be a very cool one. So anyways, Gail's neckline turned out adorable. That was the original top, and then you saw the end. So let's go back. There's the original, and that's what she did. So cute. Gail, A+. And then I saw this cartoon, and I couldn't resist. This was hilarious. Amy Louise put this up. In case you can't read it, I'm sure you can see the outfit. Sure, it looks bad now, but try to imagine it with the right shoes. I think that is the funniest thing ever because you all know me and my shoes. Today, I am wearing, I have to take them off because I can't lift my foot that high. Are these cute or what? So this totally goes with what she just said. Yeah, I love these. And they're super comfy and they match jeans really good. So those are my shoes for the day and a zipper in the back. I forgot to post that on Instagram. It's like my new thing. I love posting shoes. Well, hi, Win.
Hello, Ange.
Win just popped into the party. You're a few minutes late, but that's okay. We still love you. He's got to keep us on track. Okay, so what about this skirt? Back to the skirt that is too small. What would be the point of getting a skirt that's 2 sizes too small? Well, I'm going to add a trim, and now I'm going to go back because I know one of you mentioned this fabric. Go ahead. He win.
Yes.
Never mind. Susan, you got it. Thank you, Susan. I knew somebody, I think there's like 10 more of you that answered as well. Scuba, same thing. Oh, you all answered it. Scuba or neoprene, they're both about the same, but actually neoprene is the fabric. Neoprene. So Wynn hasn't seen the skirt yet, but the skirt that I bought that was 2 sizes too small, obviously is not going to fit over my hips. I tried just to humble myself, but I love the cut of the pockets. I love the fabric. So I'm going to cut up the sides and I'm going to add pieces of neoprene. Neoprene stretches lightly, but not like spandex. And I'm going to put it on the sides. And I think it's going to be really cute. Now I just have to go find, all I have right now is black neoprene. And I want to come up with something that's a little bit wilder, like yellow or something fun like that. So keep your eyes out for that. I will be sure to share photos so you can see because I always love doing that to see what you say. Peg wants to know, where the heck did you find a skirt for $2? TJ Maxx in the clearance aisle. I always scan that. If I'm doing upcycle projects, I used to spend like $10 or $15 on a top that I'm upcycling for a blog. That's really stupid because you're just using it for the fabric and cutting it up. So I started going to the clearance aisle. Now, if you do alterations for a business, plug your ears because this is like where the alteration experts just like are like, oh, please don't do this. So, but since you all sew, this is not a problem. When I used to do alterations, people would go to that clearance aisle and they'd say, I found this skirt for $2 and can you fix it to fit? And if I wanted to charge $25, they'd say only spent $2 on the skirt. So, you can see where that problem comes in. But because we sew, when you go to the clearance aisle the clearance aisle is a really good one. You can find garments that are not your size. Look for really good fabrics. If you can find a garment larger than yourself, just think of the fabric as the base and use that. So it's just a little tip while you're shopping. There's a couple good second-hand shops. The higher-end ones are great. Look for the bigger sizes. You might find a gorgeous tweed. I found a Chanel jacket there one time, a real Chanel jacket that was too big, and I bought it just because I wanted to cut it apart just to see how it was made. It went into the trash, believe it or not. But I cut it apart, and I was able to see everything on the inside. I think I paid like $10 for the jacket, too. So, yeah, that's where you can find, I do a lot of my research, too. So it looks like you all got a lot of the fabric. Oh, wait, okay, I have to bring it up here. Okay, you made it. So, okay, I missed the fact that you were moving, so I'm going to bring you up on the screen. I think there's a whole section of your bins. Kay's moving, and it sounds like you've moved a lot. Did you really say you've been moving? I don't know. I could have sworn it was like every 15 months or something. You are a hero because you have children and a husband. But up here, I'm bringing what she said she's moved so many times that she has this down to organization key. So Kay, in about August, I might need you to come and visit me for a little bit because this is really good. Gloria's bedroom, her puzzles, master bedroom, desk papers. I mean, this is Win, you got to see this. This is if we ever move, or if you ever have to move me. Look at this. Is this cute or what? She has everything labeled. You can.
I like that.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
And then she has dining room, china. You come over and say hi. Living room, sewing room. Oh, hold on. I'll bring you up here. They can't see you.
Oh, hi.
They're all saying hi. In case you're new here, Win, everybody loves Win. It's like everybody loves Raymond, everybody loves Win. Win is awesome. So, Kay, I got to give you credit. This is awesome. Shoe boxes. You're so organized, it's crazy. So, good luck moving. I hope it goes well. And if you have to leave us for a few days, we'll be very sad. We'll miss you when you come back. So, everybody wish Kay luck on her move. I did forget to ask where you're moving to, though. So, hopefully it's not too far. Although sometimes the further you go, it might be easier. Now, I only know that because I've only moved in college, I moved all the time from dorm room to apartment. But back then, everything I owned fit into a box. Well, maybe 2 boxes and 5 boxes of fabric and my sewing machine. Now, you see what I have here. This is scary. But either way, if you move somewhere close, sometimes you feel like, oh, I'll just make a ton of trips. So when Win and I got married and we bought a house, maybe a half a mile from where I lived and a half a mile from where he lived. So we bought a house. So we decided we're just going to do all this on our own. That was how many years ago? 8? How many more boxes are still in the attic that haven't been unpacked? A few. Because I think if you move a long distance and you're that organized, like that, you just unpack and you're good to go. And purge. That would be the good word for the day. Purge. Okay. Peg wants to know what time on Saturday. What's Saturday? Oh, on Saturday on YouTube. Peg, the YouTube show starts at 9 on Saturday. It's this one, though. It's a replay. And if there's any funny things, I try to add them at the end, but I can give you a hint. This week won't be any funny things because I'm going to be in a car very long. Well, that could be funny. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Okay. Arnell says she loves the double mint gum to baby outfits. These, I have to tell you, Arnell, when I was shopping, okay, so you all know that I have, let me make sure I get this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is on my side, not Wynn's side, because we have more nieces and nephews on that side. Twins over there, too. But on my side, my brothers both have children, 4 nephews altogether, and 1 niece. So this is and then my sister that just had the twins, she has a little boy, too. But the twin girls are the first girls in a while, so I'm so excited, and I'm a pink freak. I love pink. I went through Kohl's, the department of newborn. Everything is like teal, mauve, gray. Lots of gray. And I was like, I can't do this. Either I'm going to add so much embroidery that the kids will be itching. I'll give you a tip for embroidering on baby outfits. But everything was gray. So this was as pinky as I could find it. Stripes. See? Sienna or Kira is going to be in style right away. So Sienna has red hair. So I thought this would be cute on her. Kira has dark hair. That's for Kira. And then, of course, there had to be some gray, but there's bunnies on there, so they're cute. And then we had some more stripes, and I think that color would look great on Sienna. And some bunnies gray, but they have pink ears for Kira. So now I just have to remember that I embroider it correctly, and we're going to add these little butt things, the ruffles. Okay, so here's your tutorial for the day. Let me Haywood, would you hand me some paper, please? I thought I had some, but I must have dropped it. Oh, thank you. So the ruffle and the belt, they're very similar, but they're done just a little bit. Steph wants to know, as I'm getting ready, is there a pattern for my top? Thank you, Steph. I'm wearing this. I'm wearing the Delilah. I have to show you, just in case you haven't seen this yet. This is the Delilah top. I made one size smaller, so it wasn't quite as thick through here, and this fabric stretches a lot. This is a rayon knit. I have this in my store right now. Don't forget, Texas 20 is still good because I haven't had time to make a new one. While I'm up, I'm going to show you for tomorrow, for the YouTube, tomorrow on Thursday for the It's So Easy episode. I think it goes live at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I'm going to be using this fabric for the Kate skirt, cut on the bias. This is I have a little bit more of this on the website. This is what's left because I've already made 2 skirts out of it. This is polyester and rayon. But you've seen me, if you've watched the show for a while, you've seen me use this fabric. It's gorgeous. So that's the peach one. And then I have one more. This I love. I might have to make an Evelyn out of this. But right now, this is also cut on the bias for Kate skirt. And this is green. I know that the color on the computer always is different, but this is a mint green. Look at the drape. So it's rayon. So it drapes beautifully with a little polyester so it doesn't wrinkle. So there's my, and this is a rayon knit. All right, come on down here and I'm going to show you how to make that belt and how to make these ruffles. So these ruffles right here, if you look closely, see if I need you to tell me if you can see okay. So thumbs up or a heart. I love hearts. So one or the other. I'll turn that off. I don't know what's better. Probably the ruffles with it off. So these ruffles, if you look closely, this is made with a knit. So if you're going to make I've used this for trim on a jacket. I've used it for trim on a silk top. 2 different things. So first let's start with a knit. If you're using a knit, the fabric's going to stretch, right? Like this. Can you believe these are 3 months? And those little babies are preemie. These pants will be huge. But see how that stretches. So you could cut rows. I would cut about, well, this looks maybe 3/4 of an inch wide to an inch wide. Just cut a couple rows. Here's your selvage. There's your grain line. Like that. Once you cut the rows, then I would run a basting stitch. So now I'm just going to go down here and let's just say this is your row. Well, before I run the basting stitch, you have a few options. First, I'm going to talk about knit, and then I'll talk about silk. For a knit, most knits don't fray. But if you have a raw edge, that might look kind of funny. Now, I'm talking about putting ruffles on a tush. But where would this be applicable to anybody that doesn't have a child or doesn't have a baby that they need to use this on a jacket? On a jacket, even on a neckline. That neckline that she showed with the V, that was so cute. You could do that there with some black knit. So this isn't just for babies, so to keep that clear. All right, if you have the raw edge, that's okay. On the silk top, I actually had a raw edge, so keep that in mind. But what looks really good is a rolled hem with a serger, or on a knit, sometimes the rolled hem is too tight. So I use a 3-thread overlock. So a 3-thread overlock, narrow. So you'd use your right needle in your serger, and then your lower, both your loopers. But change the stitch width to very narrow, and the stitch length to very narrow. So back down here, this is what you'll have. It would be more of a tight stitch like this. If you adjust the differential feed and stretch your fabric a little bit as it goes, then all of a sudden you end up with, get my idea? Now, that's not going to be enough to put on for trim if you just stitch it in. So after you've done this rolled edge on the edge, play with your serger. So I'll write this word down for you. Differential feed and 3-thread narrow overlock. Got it? I hope you can see it because I can't really tell what you're looking at. So if not, I guess I'm gonna know right away when I read all these questions. So once you have that, so now you have your piece of fabric that you've done a rolled edge down each side. So just run it down the serger. Then run a basting stitch down the center. Gather the fabric up. So then you'll end up with what'll look more like this. Looks like waves. How do you like my sketches for today, huh? And then this part is all gathered, so there's like extra fabric. Okay, and then you're going to take that and put it on top of, if I'm going to do it on the tush on these pants, I'll put them across, right across here. Make sure it's all gathered, and then just stitch it with a tight stitch as it's gathered. So make sure it's gathered tightly, do a stitch, do a stitch, do a stitch, and then we will end up with these. Now, that's for babies. If you're going to do it to your neckline, you would gather that fabric just as you stitch around. Say you're stitching on your neckline. You would start here, make sure all the fabric down here, you gather a little bit, stitch across the center. Gather a little bit and stitch. Once you use that straight stitch over the gathers, it will keep your fabric nice and tight and you'll have a beautiful ruffle. I'm working on this for a silk top too, so I can show you later. I just didn't have anything cut to bring out, but I showed you last week some of the fabrics. Silk chiffon, silk charmeuse. Oh my gosh, I love silk charmeuse. And a lot of times I wash that. When you wash it, it ends up not fraying. Not everyone though, but most of them won't fray. So for this exact same process, for a beautiful neckline on a silk top, you, instead of cutting across from selvage to selvage, you're going to cut, see if I can, there you go. So for silk, here's your selvage. And 45-degree angle is your bias. So cut your strip on the bias. Now when you cut your strip on the bias, all of the rest is going to be the same. You could run it through the serger and you can have that nice rolled edge. Now with the serger, with silk, you could use a rolled edge, or the 3-thread narrow is good too. Down each side, run a basting stitch, gather it together, and then you can either hand stitch it in place across the neckline or trim on a jacket. Anything like that would be very, very cute. So experiment with that. Even if you have a fabric that frays a little bit, like a rayon or something like that, as long as you run it to the serger, you're going to finish the edges and you're good. Any fabric that does not stretch, though, cut it on the bias. So that dress behind me, many of you asked about that. Did I cut the strips on the bias? Are they just tubing? Is there interfacing? So I want to take a minute and answer questions about that before I see a lot of your questions come in, and I want to make sure I make time to answer those. So this, there's no interfacing in that belt at all. They were just tubes of fabric. I cut across this. Let me just bring you back down here. Just like the knit I just showed you, selvage to selvage. I cut across. Now those I think were 2 inches. 2 inches wide. And then I would fold it with right sides together, stitch all the way down. So you're basically just making a tube. No interfacing at all. Stitch all the way down, and then use your little turner, whatever you use to turn your tubes right side out. If you have a tool for that, if you have a safety pin, that works. Turn it right side out. Give it a little stretch, to make sure that, nothing's breaking in there. I know somebody's going to ask this. If you use a straight stitch and you stretch that fabric, is it going to break? Yes. So I used a serged edge. 3-thread, regular 3-thread overlock. You could use 4-thread as well to sew that seam. So that way it gives it a little bit, if it stretches a little bit, it's okay. Now you can see that there's a little bit of room, a little bit of give in that belt, so it's not like it's going to be super tight. And I'm not taking it on and off. So I sewed 6 strips, 3 for one side and 3 for the other. And let's see. Yeah, and then I just turned it over. I wrapped it around that metal piece and just braided all the way down. The only thing though, I just noticed something. I never do everything super easy, right? Huh. I might have to analyze that a little bit better because no wonder you guys are like, how does that look so cool? There's no raw edges. So I didn't braid the whole thing and then flip it around here. I actually took these two pieces of fabric. So instead of the fabric being this long, it's actually double that. And I wrapped all the fabric around the loop. So I had all those strands. So there would have been, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4 strands. Have you ever braided with 4? You just braid and you keep bringing one over. I'll have to cut some strips because you're going to be so confused. We got the tubing part done, okay? So we're not overachievers. We'll forget about the braiding till next week. How's that? So yes, Arnell, that is how it went. All right, so let me see. I see a few questions rolling in. Richard wanted to know how fishing is, and Richard, he just stepped out, and fishing is really good right now for Coho. I don't know if you guys heard his phone kept ringing, so I kicked him out. Not really, but I think I want to show you a couple more things up here. The group, the stuff they brought in this week is amazing. All right, here is this Danny? Okay, Danny, I'm trying to figure out what this is exactly, but she did this beautiful embroidery. I love inspiring you guys to embroider. This is so cool. But something happened. She got freight check on her fabric that she can't get out. So if anybody has a tip for Danny, leave it here or mention it now. Danny will come back and read this. I mean, what she was working on is absolutely gorgeous. So Danny, first I want to know, are these jeans or is this a jacket? I can't tell. It's beautiful, whatever it is. It's important to test it. But, okay, so Janice is making lace, which I love lace, but this is absolutely gorgeous. So Janice, she's making a shawl for, what did you write here? A customer. See comments for details. Okay, so I'm going to have to get more details, but I want to know if this is a metallic thread that you're using, and I think it is because I could have sworn you were the one that posted a video of metallic thread in a bowl. So Janice, is that you that did that? I think so. These are Susie's jeans. Susie embroidered these in our class in Texas. So those of you that are waiting for the Virginia event for Sewing Expo, this class is going to be in Virginia, but we're changing it to 2.5 hours. So there's plenty of time to embroider both legs if you want, or more embroidery. It's hard to do much in 1.5 hours when it comes to embroidery. So Susie, those are gorgeous. And I believe she finished both sides. Oh, and you added some bling. Is that cute or what? So if you're looking for a fun class where you can rehab some jeans at the Virginia event coming up in September, you can join me there. And it's a 2.5 hour class. You bring your own jeans or jacket or whatever, and you're going to embroider on some of the best machines. Okay, so Janet wanted to know what pattern this is. This is coming out eventually. It's actually in the, I don't think it's in the first batch. I have 3 patterns right now that are getting ready to launch. This one might be in the second, but it's in summer. Summer for who? I don't know. And this was super cute. Belinda did this. She did this top for her granddaughter, used the ruche tee pattern and just made the t-shirt part. So she didn't ruche it. Okay, Belinda, that is so cute. And she said, sorry, she couldn't get the dog out of the picture. Well, we love dogs. That's what makes it so much fun. So yeah, very cool. All right, so I'm going to take a few minutes. We still have a little bit of time. I've got a lot to do today, but I could not miss the show because I love hanging out with you. It makes my whole week. When you guys write, Wednesday's my favorite day, I'm thinking Wednesday's my favorite day because I love hanging out with you. So we make a good team, right? I agree. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this up here. Let me see who's... Arnell says sewing saves us money. So Arnell, for the baby clothes, yes. For everything else, I'm looking at my stash going, it could save us money. But who posted the mention about fabric? Somebody posted in the group about fabric. Like, oh gosh, yeah. Fabric doesn't count though, right? We're just talking about what we spend on shoes and stuff like that, right, Arnell? Then we're in. Okay, the colors of neoprene are edged in black. Yes, Peg, a lot of times they are. But they have, the back of it's usually black. But sometimes they'll have unique colors, or I'm going to have to paint it. I could paint it with fabric paint. Remember what we did with the tulips recently? That was so much fun. Karen says Goodwill is great. If you guys have a fun source for finding these clothes, make sure you mention it because somebody in your town, or maybe don't mention it because it might be your secret spot to shop. I don't know. One or the other. Peg says she's never found that price at TJ's. Every once in a while, Peg. Every once in a while. I think it also depends where your TJ Maxx is. My mom lives near Orland Park, and their Nordstrom Rack is awesome. That's my favorite store there. But their TJ's has a lot of things, but I think ours here in St. Joe Bet Harbor is a little bit better. My personal preference, of course. Linda says that Kay is the organizational queen. I agree. And I see all of you saying hi to Lynn. Thank you, thank you. Danny? So, Danny, you are here live. I see your comment. So, Danny, if anybody knows how to fix your little whatever you had on that fabric, they're going to leave a comment here. So be sure to scroll through comments later and then check YouTube on Saturday. If I hear what the answer is, I'll let you know. Okay. Let's see what else we have. So, by the way, as I'm scrolling through your comments and your questions, let me just see if I... Oh, goodness, there's a lot I missed. Sorry. Danny says... Oh, you finished it. Okay. Danny says she finished it. Well, oh, it was a Kate skirt. You were embroidering that on a Kate skirt? That is going to be so cute. Oh, I can hardly wait to see it. So Danny is replying to the comments that we're talking about here. So all that embroidery that you saw, she is doing a Kate skirt. Which, by the way, speaking of Kate skirts, I got to show you some fabrics that I have over here. Okay, here's the Kate skirt, in case you don't have it. It's super easy, super fun, 2 different lengths. So I cut out, not the Kate skirt, but I've actually cut out the fringe skirt, which is just a little bit different. And I'm going to show you guys what I did to this. But embroidery on this fabric would be really cool. Oh, Danny, you had to tell me that you were doing the Kate skirt. Now I'm going to want to do embroidery. All right, so let me bring Kate. I'm going to take Danny's comment down and show you this fabric. So remember, I showed you this last week. Now, this fabric, the selvage, is actually from here to here. But what I've done is I cut it a different way. So instead of cutting the fabric going up and down, I wanted these, see the difference? I'll hold this up away from you for a second to see if you can tell this. All right, you hear me okay? Give me the heart so I know. My battery went out on my mic, so I have the other mic. So hopefully it's doing its job. So the fabric, really, if I held it up selvage to selvage, would go this way, which I don't know if you can tell that much of a difference, but look what happens when I cut it this way. Visually, now tell me yes or no, I could be crazy, but tell me yes or no, that when you visually look at this fabric, here I'll use the big front piece. If I were to cut it this way, doesn't your eye go side to side? Because that's the way the stripes are going. Since I cut it this way, instead, where does your eye go? Up and down. That's what I was trying to do here. And the other thing is, because this is going to be the fringe skirt, I'll bring you back up here. Oops, I lost it. Okay, we're back. I put this back up on the table so you can see something. Because this is the fringe skirt, look down here. If I pull this off, the fringe down here has a nice, see how when I pull it on the side, it's just very hairy, not much to it. Down here, it's much more colorful. So whenever I mention to you guys, if you're doing fringe, be sure to take into consideration which way you're pulling the threads. So this way has a lot, it's a lot thicker. And of course, the fringe is 3 layers of fabric, which if you have the pattern, you know how that works. This way, it's just all white. in one color. Here's another thing that a couple of you mentioned last week, and I don't know how I didn't think of mentioning this. When you're trying to find the grain line on this, if you just grab a couple threads and pull, maybe. Usually you can pull, and what it'll do is you'll end up seeing a white line. Let's see if I can get the whole thing out. All right, let's see if I turn this off. If you can see better, I can't. No, you can't really tell. Well, you can a little bit. If you look really close, there's a white line that goes right through here, and that's the straight of grain. So I didn't cut that very straight, I'm going to have to say. The other thing I do to my garments, now I'm going to quilt this fabric. These, if you can see these white marks, that's the dart. And up at the top, I have a snip, 2 snips at the dart. So what I'll do is I know that's the bottom. This is the top. That. Now on my fringe skirt, my darts angle this way on the body. They're kind of cool. And then on this piece here, I've already put the fusible interfacing that will go where the zipper is. And here's my marking for the dart. And again on this side. So once I sew the darts in, I will go ahead and quilt all the pieces of fabric. And these are the colors I'm choosing. If you were on Instagram this week, you saw that I found one of the best color matches ever for fabric. But the problem is planning my wardrobe. If I use this fabric for the lining, I won't have enough for the lining for the jacket because I want to make a matching jacket. So now I'm torn. I bought this fabric a long time ago. Here you go. What do you think of this color match? Isn't that awesome? It's the same teals. It's the same green. It has the same blue. I mean, it's like, why didn't I get more of this fabric? Actually, I think I already cut something out of it. So I don't have enough for both. So now I'm torn. Do I waste it? Not waste it, because lining's like more important than the garment. Do I waste it for lining? Or do I make a bias cut silk top similar to that new pattern coming out that's just cut on the bias? And then I could mix and match. So if I did that, then I would just use teal or something for the lining. Silk charmeuse. So this could be just a separate top, which would give this skirt an entirely different look. So whatever I line this with and I line the jacket with would just be maybe a cream, something to complement. I also found this knit. Now this one could be a little questionable on color matches, but it would definitely, if this was made like a Delilah top or something, these greens are exact. This has a little more purple than blue, but it all ties in. So right now, if I finish this skirt, I could have 2 tops. I still haven't figured out what lining to do. I don't know. I don't know yet. But that's what's on my sewing table this week. If I didn't have so many decisions, I probably would have already sewn it together. But that's the problem. When you have too much fabric or you have too many options and then you're like, oh, but I really like this. So I don't know what you guys think. This, I have enough. Let's see. Looks like I have about 1.5 yards left. So potentially I could do lining for both the skirt and the jacket, but I wouldn't have enough for a top. Or if I did the top and the lining for the jackets, I could do that and use a different one for the inside sleeve. See what I mean? All these options, trying to make not enough fabric work for an amazing outfit. I guess we'll just have to see. I don't know. If you have any thoughts on that, I would love to hear. Oh no, who has a, okay, I'm reading your questions and I see that somebody says Susan Powers has a flood. That's not good. I must have missed your comment below. Sorry about that. That's terrible. Hopefully it didn't mess up your sewing room. Melody says, definitely need a visual on the belt. All right. If I don't remember to bring the strips next week, I will visually show you how to do that braiding. I'm going to have to remind myself. I cannot remember if it's in DVD number 1 or not. I'm going to have to actually watch the DVD myself. I think it's in DVD number 2. But I don't know if I showed you how to do the belt. I might have just like explained it. I thought I showed it on It's So Easy too. Okay, so Janice is talking about for fabric. and her lace, and she says, yes, it was metallic silver. And yes, you're the one that posted that video. I'm going to have to find that video, Janice. I think maybe I don't have the video on for my group chat. I don't. No. So I'll find it for next week. Or if you're in the group, find that video that Janice posted. It's adorable. Okay, so check this one out. Gail made this top, and that was the fabric that you've seen me wear a couple of times. I love that fabric. Gail, is that fabric soft or what? And she turned it into a square neckline. Super cute. It's the ruche tee, but she just changed the neckline. Great job, Gail. It's not gapping. It looks beautiful. And good job on the flower placement. Remember we talked about like, whoa, you got a lot of flowers going on. Make sure that you don't have headlights. Good job. You get an A++ on that. It looks absolutely great. Okay, here's a good question. Let's see. Arnell says cute jeans. Oh, Janice says the bowl on the metallic thread, it didn't work for the really big cone, just the smaller. All right, I'll find that video for you, girls. Oh, Judy, you're coming to the jeans class. You can use any kind of jean you want. It could be stretch. It could be just a jean jacket. It could be anything. I'm going to show you how to embroider on whatever you bring, you're going to embroider on. So speaking of embroidery, before we finish today, and I still have more questions to answer, but the baby clothes, what do you use for stabilization on that? I use that Fusible. It's like a Fusible, and there's different brands. I know I have it on my Amazon page, so I'll leave a link for you. Don't forget, you can go to angelawolf.com. The blog post will go up tomorrow, but I'll leave links to all of these things, and I'll post a photo of that Fusible. It's a Fusible embroidery stabilizer, but it's really soft on the baby's skin. So if for some reason you embroider a monogram or something on baby's clothes that's going to be touching their skin and that wasn't enough, you can also just cut a piece of Fusible, even Fusible interfacing, like fusing it and press it on top of that, and that makes it very soft against the skin. If you're really worried, put the Fusible, do your embroidery, put Fusible over it, and maybe just do like a little stitch around it just to keep it in place. So that's your tip for embroidering on for sensitive skin. All right, so Danny says, back to her stain. Danny, I'm so glad you're on here because now we don't have to wait for the answers. She tried a hot iron on the stain after she tried dipping in alcohol for more than 3 hours. Oh, goodness. It went away on my testing sample, but not on the skirt. Oh, no. So she's modifying the pattern so the stain will not be on the skirt. What a shame, though. Now, if you've never used Fray Check, I've had some disasters with it. It's great to use, but what I've learned is when I have the container, I put an a pin, like a silk pin head to pop the hole in there and then to put it on the end. A lot of times if I'm doing a silk scarf with, I don't know, a rolled hem or something like that, I will use a little dot right there to keep the fabrics or the threads from not unwinding. I use it sometimes on jeans, just in odd places because it just secures those threads or those fabrics. But it will sometimes leave a marking. And have you ever, if you've done this, please tell me because I'll feel so much better that I'm not the only one. One time, my little pinhole kind of clogged up. So I took a pair of scissors. I'm sure I used my nice sharp Kai scissors for this too, which could cut your arm off because they're so good. Not literally, and I cut across the top and of course made too big of a hole in the Fray Check. So then I went to squirt it and it was like a ketchup jar squirting at somebody or a paint jar. It was terrible and it went all over the garment. That piece of fabric, I actually ruined a garment and a piece of fabric all in one blow up. So if you've ever done that, please just leave a comment or give me a heart because I will go back and read this and I will think, oh, thank heavens, I'm not the only one that just made the dumbest move ever. That would be one of my sewing scoops, okay? And that was not good. So Danny, just think of this. It could have been so much worse, so much worse. And so if that makes you feel better. So I see a few more people making comments. So I just want to answer your questions. We've got just a few more minutes. Denise says, I'm late, but I made it to the live today. Sounds good, Denise. Great to see you. And I see so many of you, gosh, and there's so many new ones too. So thanks for joining, by the way, to our most fun sewing hour of the week. Darlene says she forgot. It's okay, Darlene. Wynn did too. That's why he was late, right? Oh, here's one. Susan Powers says Walmart sometimes has knits for $2 to $5. That's a really good tip because I know a lot of you that have not sewn knits and you're nervous or you want to test a new pattern. I'll go buy cheap stuff, or if I can find a bolt of cheap stuff, I'll just buy the whole bolt and then I have something to just use for practice. Great tip, Susan. Thank you. And everybody's trying to help Danny. Janet says, Danny, can you embroider over the mishap? That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh my gosh, that would, oh, who got their new toy? Esther. Uh-oh. I'm giving you a hand clap. She got her new toy, the cover stitch, the double cover stitch. Nice job, Esther. That's a fun machine. I think I have it behind me. I've been trying to place my machines because I'm trying to do some taping. So they're not all like set up for sewing, which is good and bad. It looks nice on the set, but at the same time, when I want to do something really quick, I got to go plug it in. So I have a fun project that I'm going to work on for that. I'm hoping I won't get it done before I go visit the girls, but that double cover hem makes such a fun stitch. I think the girls will love it. Although they're like 1 month old, so they'll never even know that I forgot. I'll just wait till they're a little older for the July 4th outfit. So congrats, Esther. Okay. Claudia says she moved last year and sewing room took 125 small boxes and 3 weeks of packing moved to a new location. Oh my gosh. I need to unpack this year when the metal shed is done. Summer project. Claudia, oh my goodness. That's a lot. 125 small boxes. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've been trying to organize just in case I reorganize or alter some of my business a little bit. So I've been trying to organize. So I have bins, maybe, and I went and bought 20 bins from Myers that were see-through. They're about this tall, this wide. Those are great with see-through because then I can kind of quickly glance. And I teach so many different classes. Sometimes the samples that I made 2 years ago are exactly what I need. So I don't want to throw them away and I don't want to make them again. So I'm trying to organize like that. Well, I think I'm on shopping trip number 5 for those bins. 10 bins each time, that would be 50. And you can't tell I organized anything. So if that makes you feel better, I will let you know how many bins I end up with. If I have to move or if I decide to move, oh my goodness, Wynn will have to be brought to sainthood because I would probably have a nervous breakdown. Oh gosh, I don't know. Okay, Joe says, I believe rubbing alcohol removes spray check. Try it on a scrap first. Joe, you know what? I've never heard that before, and Danny just said she did, and it worked as well on the scraps, but not her other. Now, Danny, if you pressed that at all, I think that secures it where it won't come out. So if you accidentally pressed it after you did it, then I think you're really kind of in trouble. But alcohol, I'm really glad you guys shared that. So for all of you that have spray check, keep a little bottle of alcohol next to you. All right, got a few more coming up here. Oh, Liz says she loves the vertical stripe on the green skirt. Thanks. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys liked as far as the lining or the knit top. So, okay, back to the skirt. So it's cut like this. I brought the lace out because I also could add lace on here. But if you noticed, and I was thinking lace just in like some odd spots, see how it kind of just shows through? But that was too much. That was getting too carried away. At the beginning of the show, I mentioned somebody had asked about lace on shorts. And when your fabric frays a lot, if you're going to cut it off and then add lace, what do? Just run that raw edge through the serger with a fabric that matches, with a thread that matches the color of your fabric. Not the color of the lace, the color of your fabric. And then you can add lace and you won't even notice that your edges are raw. And it'll just blend in. So I'm going to ask you guys again. Oh, hey. The shirt I'm wearing matches even. So now I have 3 shirts to go with this skirt. Wowzer. Okay, I'm going to just take Liz's comment off. So here's the visual for you, the eye. I do like that. And yes, it does match this top, but it also does match this. So I think I'm going to end up with a couple of really cute tops out of this. This is going to be a very casual look. This one with this top right now would be very cute, and that would be a casual look. And then this one here will be a little fancier, maybe with some heels for dinner. I don't know. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. And I'm really proud of myself because I said next time I make a few outfits and spend a lot of time doing a quilted skirt, which is a touch of couture, I want to make sure that I can wear it with more than one item or one top. I want to be able to enjoy it. So a lot of you said you love the long way. I like it going up and down better. Arnell, I agree. Patty says the same. Boy, all of you are on the same page. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Gloria, thank you. She says she loves it the way I cut it the best. Excellent. You know, and the thing is it's a tweed fabric. And if you pull the fabric fibers, just make sure that sometimes they're so loose weave one way or the other that you'll have a little problem. But this was a tight fabric and I could cut it either way. So it worked great. And in case you were wondering last week, yes, Melody, it will make you look taller. Perfect. Last week when I showed you that tweed, I think it was a unanimous vote, break the rules, and use the wrong side. So that's what I'm going to do. That will be a top. That's going to be after the green one, though, because I have to have this green skirt for summer. It's so cute. Wish me luck, right? Everyone's saying that fabric is beautiful. Deborah, glad you made it. She said better late than ever. Have fun without me. We didn't have too much fun without you, Deborah. Why quilted? Arnell wants to know why quilted. It's a couture. It's a touch of couture. If I quilt the lining, the silk lining, to the skirt, it's like one piece of fabric then. The lining doesn't move around. It's one piece. It feels like wearing pajamas. Good pajamas. It's so comfortable. Have any of you quilted? We did this last year when we did the sew along, and then I got so busy doing other things I never finished. I think I still have that skirt here that needs a waistband. That's all it needs. But it's a fall fabric, so I pushed it off for my fall project. But have you ever quilted the lining of silk to tweed for a jacket, like a Chanel jacket? Those are my favorite jackets. So do it on a skirt, and you will never want to sew a tweed skirt without quilting the lining. I'm telling you, it's so comfortable. And it doesn't take that long. It's much faster than a jacket. I'll make sure I add photos here, and I always add them on Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram, my handle is Angela Wolf Fashion. So go on there, follow me, and I always add stuff in the stories usually, like stuff I'm working on immediately. Janice wants to know, beautiful, can you get a solid for the skirt lining? You know what, Janice, that's what I'm thinking. Just either I have some cream colored silk charmeuse, which would work great. I think that would be cute. Well, hi again. Lynn's back. Everybody wanted to know how fishing was, and I told them it was great, although you weren't fishing today. Okay, I think the overwhelming response is to make a top with that beautiful fabric. Don't waste it on the lining. Pam has a good idea. Use it for the jacket. Your lining will show in the jacket. It won't show in the skirt. Believe it or not, though, when you cross your legs when you're wearing a skirt, sometimes your lining you can see. Or if I put a little slit on the side, then you can see. I always have to show it off somehow, right? But that is very true, though. The jacket would be much more probably useful. Let's see. Can you do the body of the jacket out of the fabulous fabric and the sleeves from another fabric? Will that give you some extra? You know what? That is a great suggestion as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out the top first, and then I'm going to see how much room I have left to go. So here's another tip for you. I mentioned that you could use one color for the exactly what you just said. The fun color for the garment body, because that's what when you open and close your jacket. But the other part that you do see is through your cuff area. So I have actually been so desperate for saving some fabric, or I didn't buy enough or something, that I will take the sleeve, and from here to here would be a solid color, and from here to here would be the fashion fabric. So the only part that's not that fashionable, colorful fabric is from here to here. Who's going to see that? Nobody. And it kind of looks cool when you take your jacket off, because when you lay your jacket on the chair inside out so everybody can see your beautiful lining, they're going to see that one color is here. And as long as the sleeves at this end match the color scheme, it'll look like it's on purpose. That was a great idea. All right, so I have time for just 2 more questions. Oh, put the flower up to your face before you decide if it should be a top. Okay, Mary Helen, let me check this out. Is it my color or is it not my color? That's a good idea. Or do I look like I'm, oh. What do you think, Gwen?
I don't know if it's your fault.
Gwen's going, I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess didn't we just talk about this last week, Mary Helen? You're so good. You're so smart. Okay. Now, if it was a tank, is it too doily? I'm trying to read his face for you, okay? I'm watching his eyes, and he's like, and then he went like this.
You'd look good on a gunny sack.
Oh, he's so good. Did you hear what he said? He said, this is why we have such a good marriage. He said I would look good in a gunny sack. But he's saying probably a no-go on this one. So, you know what? It might be lining. Mary Helen, I think you might have saved the day. I'm trying to figure the fabric out. I never even thought about that. Now, this I know is my color. What do you think, Gwen? Much better. Color analysis done. Check. Plenty of fabric for the lining. Now I just need to come up with a fabulous fabric. Now, does this match for, if this was the top, will this match for the lining on the jacket? This is the jacket. If this is the lining.
I think so.
All right, guys, I think we're getting somewhere. So if this is the lining, that kind of works, doesn't it? Kind of. And then it's not so much. Mary Helen, A+ on mentioning that. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Okay. Esther says no bias top, something else for the lining. Oh, yes, on the bias top. Susie says, oh, Susie, we saw her jeans up here. She said she's cleaning a rental property and lost track of time. She'd rather be sewing. Have to go back and rewatch. Well, Susie, you'll be excited to know that I just showed off your jeans to the entire world. I think they look fabulous. Okay, Arnell wants to know about the braid on this. Is it the same as braiding hair? Well, yes, but no, because of the fact that I had more than, when you braid for hair, you have 3 strands. So I promise I will, if it's not next week, it'll be the week after. It depends if I have time to make some tubing before I go visit the twins. If not, the week after is July 4th, so I'm not doing it that day either. I will make a special live video with you guys on a different day to show you the braiding, just for the braiding. So if that's all you want to see, that's all you'll see. And then when I'm finished with it, I'll save the video so it doesn't go away, even if you miss it. So I see a lot more comments here about Susan. So Susan, if I missed your comment, you're going to have to fill us in on what happened. Everybody says they're so sorry. So I hope that your flood is going well. What a shame. Jen wants to know, where in Virginia are you going to be in September? It's the last week of September. If you go to sewingexpo.com, they don't have their class lists up yet, so you kind of got a preview really fast. That jean class sold out like the first day. So if you think you're going to take that class, sign up for it immediately as soon as the classes open up. There's also a hands-on class where we're embroidering those sheer sleeves. Those are the 2 hands-on. Everything else is lecture classes, so there could be hundreds of you. It doesn't matter. But for the hands-on, I think it's limited to 20 or 25, depending on how many machines they have in that room. Where are we going? It was Arlington, Texas. This is what screwed me up, because there's an Arlington, Virginia. That's not where I'm going. I just came from Arlington, Texas. But I almost screwed up my flights and came to see the wrong people. Fredericksburg? Fredericksburg. But go to sewingexpo.com, look at their events, and it'll tell you the dates and the location. I don't remember the name of the hall or anything like that. It's a convention center. Darlene wants to know, I missed something. What's this about a jeans class? Darlene, these are the some classes that I'm doing with the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo. The next one's in Virginia, then Novi, and then Atlanta in the spring. So for all of you in Atlanta, and there might be a surprise in Cleveland in April. I will keep you posted on that. Okay, Michelle says tender touch. That's the good one for babies. Yes, thank you. Okay, Jackie. Oh, hey, Richard. Jackie would like if maybe to come to Jeans with a pair. Let me say that bad. Richard, by the way, I love the dress that you made for your wife recently. No, it was a top. Let me see if I can find that on here. Just while you're on here, I'm going to see if I can bring this up. Where did you post that? It was really, really good looking. He embroidered. So, Richard, did you make the whole top or did you buy the top and embroider? I think I missed that part. Your wife is a lucky lady, by the way. All right. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me bring this up. I don't know how I missed that. Bring this up here so you guys can see this. And then, here we go. Can you see that okay? All right. So Richard said he made the tunic. Oh, you made the tunic for his wife. That embroidery is gorgeous. Let me take your question off of here so you can see that better. The fabric is muslin from, wow. The embroidery was done on the Brother PR 1000. Nice job. Tunics are so in style right now. So many of you asked me about embroidery designs for tunics, similar to the book that I showed you, the Bible of tunics, you know, that I'm just doting over, where to find designs for that. I actually have been piecing together designs for things like this. I haven't found ones that I liked specifically that would just like slap on the front of the tunic. You had to piece them together. So this is really good looking. So I'm going to ask you, Richard, is that one design on each side that you mirror imaged? And I want to know, on the sleeves, is that decorative stitching that you just stitched around? Jackie must be so excited. So tell Jackie we want a photo of her in the top. That's super cute. And I also missed one more thing up here. Chris is enjoying her retirement. Chris, we all love you. And we're glad that you didn't dump us after you got retired because now you have a ton more time to sew. So she said that this is not an Angela Wolf pattern, even though it's in the Angela Wolf Patterns group. So we let it slide. But look at what she made, a cover. She made covers for her Scan and Cut and her serger. Okay, that's super cute. And I recognize those letters. I believe you got those off of the Dream Machine, if I am not mistaken, Chris. And your sewing room looks adorable. I love the thread. Very cute. Very, very. All right. And Wes, I don't know how I missed this either. He's been sewing the fabric that makes everybody cringe, that ruffled fabric that, Wes, if you're on here, I'm feeling you laugh right now because I have sewn that a lot and it does get a little bit nasty after a while. Your serger and that fabric become enemies. So I felt your pain. But he made this. Did you make this for your mom, I think you said? Lace up summer dress. Very cute. Very, very cute. And he made another one. You made something for your mom that was really cute. So kudos to you as well. And we've already seen that. So, all right, guys. Well, we are out of time. I got to run. I have a meeting. And again, it is so much fun hanging out with you on our behind the scenes, what's on your sewing table. So be sure to share what you're doing in the group. On Instagram, use hashtag Angela Wolf, and then I can see what you're working on, and I can comment, and you inspire us anyways, right? I will see you next week. Next week is On Location. For those of you on YouTube on Saturday, I will see you there. Leave your comments. I always go back and check. If you have any specific questions, feel free to leave it there. I try to bring it up in front of everyone else if I have a good answer. And don't forget about the two contests, the Brother Sweepstakes. That, I think you only have until tomorrow to enter, but don't quote me on that. Go to Brother Sews, their Facebook page. Look for the link. If you can't find it, leave a comment there, and they'll make sure you get to the right place. And don't forget, next week I'm going to draw 2 lucky winners, one for a pattern review. Thank you, Deepika, for such an awesome gift for them, 1-year membership, or one of my classes on pattern review. And I saw many of you when I talked about Deepika from pattern review. I'm going to have her on the live show. We're planning something for August, so that'll be very fun. And the other thing is she's going to be the guest speaker this year at ASG at their annual convention in Vegas. I believe it's their 40-year anniversary, too. So I won't be there. I'm bummed, but have a good time. All right, guys, have a great week, and see you on the social side. Until next week, if I get that ready for your braiding, we'll do a fun video. But don't worry, you won't miss anything. Even if I tape it and you miss it, I'll save the video. Have a good week. I will talk to you later, and stay dry.